And we're live. Happy Tuesday, everyone. It's April 1st, but we got serious business to talk about. So there's no April Fools going on here. We are talking about something that I believe is going to be very important for you. I'm not here alone. I'm joined by my good friend, Athena Shack. Hey, Athena, how are you doing today?
Hey, Kimon, how are you?
Doing well, doing well. Listen, y'all. All right. I think I'm back. I think I'm back.
Yes.
Yeesh. All right. Listen, I don't know what is causing this, but if y'all are watching, just put a hey in the comments. Let us know you could see us, you can hear us, and if you're watching on the replay, do the same so that we know that you're tracking with this conversation.
Yes, and we'll make it quick because I don't know how long the internet is going to last. So let's see. Oh no.
All right. So let me do a proper introduction. Athena Shack is a minister, an entrepreneur, an author, a publisher, and she is the CEO of Water Springs Publishing. Did I miss anything, Athena, besides a wife and a mom?
Yeah, that's enough. That's enough.
Yeah.
It's only a 30-minute show.
Yeah. Well, one of the reasons why you're on here is because not only you're a publisher, you're the publisher that helped me to publish my first book. My first book, This is Church. And because of that, we connected in Memphis. One of the passions that I have, and I think it's one that you have as well, is that more people need to write and to share their story and their message. Talk to us now just about one, like how did you get started in this journey of writing and publishing?
Well, before I answer that,
Yeah.
do you recall what I told you when you brought me your book? You probably don't. So I'm going I'm going to get right to it. I remember looking at your book and reading it through and was like, why are you sitting on this? Like, why are you just now getting to the point where you are trying to publish? Because it was so impactful. It had so many legs. And I told you that I was recommending the book. It was short, it was succinct, but it was powerful. And I recall seeing it, and I to this day, you want a book on discipleship? Okay, this is what you need to do. Like, because it got straight to the point. It had
Mhm.
such a profound, a simple message that resonated beyond right your own local church.
Mhm.
And so um our focus today will be on message. But to answer your question, I've been doing this for 10 years. You were one of my first, and you just helped me open up the floodgates. And I came into this after trying to publish, or after writing and publishing my own book. And I realized that other people needed the kind of help that I wish I had. And that's
Yeah.
literally how I became a book publisher. I went to all the conferences, I did all the research, I did all of that just for my one book. So I was sitting on a wealth of knowledge, um, partnered with some expertise in advertising and marketing. I'm having worked for an advertising company and having that graphic design background. So all of that led me to starting the business. And of course, God's saying, look, I didn't call you to just write a book and publish your own book, but I've called you to help other people. So, here I am. This year makes 10 years. We've published over 200, books, global authors. I love what we do. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. But I love the fact that we get to take stories,
Yeah.
right? We get to take messages and we get to bring it out into the world. Like, um, I'm almost considered like a midwife, you
Yeah.
know. where
Yeah.
I'm taking, people's babies. And I say that like, I'm taking people's babies. You've worked hard, on the book. You thought hard. A lot of people have held on to it for so long, and I get to help them push it out, into the world.
I love it.
I love what I get to do.
Yeah, there's so much there, Athena. I'm gonna take you back to what you said. Do you know that book? And you know it already. The book workshop on something, preach something, taught something, you thought to yourself, and without any boasting, this is pretty good. Like, this should be shared again, and not just shared in the same format, right? Because there is, like any of us, we could go teach it in different places. But what if I put this into a different format that can go beyond where I can go? And that's what started the whole thought about putting it into a book. And side note, one of the things that I thought was my negative as a pastor, as a preacher, was I was very manuscript. So I had to write everything out before I spoke. Well, it became a positive because I had it written. I just had to reformat it, get it changed up into book format, but I had something to go off of. And so I think you giving that encouragement, that validation was very helpful for me. That not only did I think it was something, but you thought it was something. And as you mentioned, you've done that not just for me, but for now over 200 books. Some authors have done multiple. Some people it's their first book, but you said it. I think Athena, and by the way, I go around now speaking. I'm not pastoring a local congregation, but of all the things that I hear people say, I've been thinking about doing this, writing a book is definitely in the top three things that people say, I've wanted to do this, but I haven't.
Mhm, mhm. And here's the reason, um, why, right? We don't get to the finish line, or we don't even get to start. And it's because of imposter syndrome. Hands down, number one reason why people are not writing a book that they're passionate about, or just writing a book, period. It's that imposter syndrome. We think that no one's going to read it. My message is not good enough. My story is not good enough. Um, will this work? Right? People are so nervous about all of these things, and it creates doubts, it creates panic, and it creates just a stagnant dream, a really stagnant dream. You're not putting any life or any um, air into the dream and into the desire because of imposter syndrome. Like, everybody really deals with this at some level. And the only way to overcome that is to remind yourself who you are writing your book for. Remind
Yeah.
yourself the importance of your message.
Mm.
Um, and just as you've said, you know, well, let's put it like this: this stream is going to be gone in 30 days, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, based on Facebook. Yeah.
Facebook is not even keeping streams on for 30 days.
Hmm.
Your Sunday morning sermon, how long do people remember that sermon after you've preached it?
Hmm. Hmm.
Sometimes those sermons don't even get into the parking lot because folks have forgot.
There's some drama
Right,
happened. Yeah. Yeah.
right. Um, and now, yes, we have streaming and YouTube and things like that. So there's content that can last a little longer, but it's also not personal. Publishing, you're able to get into people's homes, right? You're able to
Mhm.
get onto their bookshelves, to their nightstands, in their cars, on their in their, you're able to get in those places, and it stays,
That's
right?
good. I
And
like
it
that.
stays. So publishing, it allows your voice to be magnified. It's like a microphone, right? Publishing a book is a microphone to your message, to your heart, to your story, to your knowledge, um, to your teachings, to your method. It is a microphone, right? So it's loud, and it is amplified. So when you write, you're not writing just for that congregation. You're not writing just for the random, people that may come across your YouTube or what have you. You are writing to a specific person whose who whose voice you cannot hear, but they can hear your voice through your words.
That's
And
good.
I think that's powerful. People that you have never met have the ability to be impacted by your story, by your teachings, by everything that you've placed in that book. And you may never meet them. You may never be introduced to them. You may never walk in their country. You may never walk in their state, but they have your book on their shelf and they're living the fundamental truths of your book, or they're passing that book along. They're reading your book to their children, and who will read that book to their children.
That's so good.
It's legacy. It's
Yeah.
legacy. And how else do common people, right? I don't sing. I don't play any sports.
I'm an
I'm
introvert. Like I'm an introvert, right?
an introvert,
Yeah.
right? Um, what else could I do
Yeah.
to leave a legacy, to leave a footprint in this earth?
That's so good. Yeah. Athena, this is such a, I mean, I told you all she's a preacher as well, so you could hear it. If you are watching this and you have thought about writing a book, maybe you've written a book and you want to write another one, you've had a book in mind that you wanted to write, put yes in the comments. I just want to see, even for those of us who are going to watch this on replay, like I've written one and I have another one, or I've never written, but I've been thinking about, I had a thought about, I'm going to have some notes somewhere. It might be in my phone, it might be on my computer. Just put yes in the comments. I just want to see who are our potential authors. Now, Athena, as you mentioned this, the topic today is why your message needs to outlive you. You said each of us, there is someone that we need to be thinking about our message for. And I think each person that God gives a message, whether it's for business, it's for relationships, it's for health, it's for finances, you have a specific person or persons that you have as assignment, right? Lisa Reed says yes. What is also interesting is if we think about ourselves and the books that have impacted us, many of them, the person who's written that book may not even be alive right now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I was on a panel this week, and the person was talking about this book that impacted them, and it was Think and Grow Rich, right? That was the book they mentioned. Napoleon Hill has been dead, right? But his book, his writing, has continued to impact people. What about you? Do you think of any books that have impacted you, maybe from someone who's not around or someone that you've never had a chance to meet?
Well, there is that Bible there, right? There
There
is
is
that
that
Bible.
Bible, right?
Well, watch it. Listen to this. Think about it, though. Think about it. Think about it. What if we didn't have that script?
Yeah. Yeah.
What if the scribes didn't help write?
Yeah.
What if
Wow.
Moses wasn't obedient to write the
That's
commandment?
true.
What if?
Wow.
Think
Wow.
about the impact of writing.
Yeah.
If we did not have that manuscript, if we did not have that text, how will you and I know really what are the fundamentals? How would
Wow.
we really know, who God is, had it
Yeah.
not been for the people who wrote down history, wrote down the laws, wrote down the songs that are in Song of Solomon's and in the Psalms? What if we did not have that? Right? So there is an obedience factor in writing. When God has placed something in you, that message, there is an obedience factor. And if we are obedient to that, we think about the impact. Yes, I mean, I went big with the Bible, but we have the potential to have the same impact, the same impact. Now you asked about the book that I thought about, that I still have, but you know what I was thinking about as you were talking? I was thinking about the people who are not here, who had a book to write. And you and I had a peer. He was in one of our programs. I won't call his name. That had a book in his heart to write and was working
Ooh.
on it. You remember
Mm-hmm.
now?
Oh yeah, that I
And
felt that.
passed away. Yeah, and didn't get an
Mm.
opportunity.
Ooh. Yeah.
So his legacy was void of that piece of him that
Mm-hmm.
didn't have the opportunity to be written and published.
Yeah. That's so good.
So
Yeah.
I think about the wealth of knowledge, expertise, your viewpoint, your context. And it doesn't even matter the subject, because when you bring those things to the writing process, it's uniquely you. And so we think, oh, I don't have to write a book about that because someone else has done it, but they don't have your experience. They don't have your context. They don't have your viewpoint. And so it's so important not to stay in our heads about what we think
Mm-hmm.
is invaluable because we're afraid to do it. We think it has no value because we're afraid. That's what it really is.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what it really is. But you talk about it all the time. You preach about it all the time. You have 16 points in the close, right? You have all of this. You have video content. You have audio content. You have notes that you have been writing in journals for years, and you teach on it all the time. Like the content is there, right? And so if the passion is there as well, the message is there. The only thing that is missing, Pastor Lola, is obedience.
Yeah. That's a good word. That's a good. You
Is
know,
obedience.
mm, somebody as you're watching this, there is a reason why you can't shake that book idea. You cannot shake it. You tried to, and you probably almost beat yourself up. I didn't get it done this year. Well, it's too late. Well, you came across this stream. You're watching this replay for a reason because you still have breath, you still have that passion, and I believe God still wants you to put that message out into the world because one, it can get to places you can't go. It allows people a chance to assimilate it in a way that a spoken message can't do, can't happen. And as we just said, it outlives you. You'll be gone, and your message and your words will be having impact long after you have closed your eyes.
Imagine someone and picking up a book in school, in college, that has your name on it because you did the work 10 years ago. We just released a book that we were working on this book for at least 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
It had so much content because it is a scholarly book, right? Lots of information, lots of scripture, but it has such a unique context that the professor, retired professor, was using this every single day, every semester for years. And it was his personal textbook. Now there are other schools, right? Other students who will be able to use that scholarly book long, long past his sunset date.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Your life's work, you know.
yeah.
And I think that's amazing. I thought about this morning, and I thought about, like, what what will our obituary really say that
Yeah.
we've done anything? But then, what will people say about our impact, right? What will the comments be about our impact? Everyone who knows that they have this book, they have impact. they have impact that is waiting to be released.
Yeah.
And if we would think of those things, right? Think about how our message will impact the next generation, impact the next business, impact the next marriage. It will release you from the negative thoughts that are holding you hostage, because fear will hold you hostage, imposter syndrome will hold you hostage, and then you will make excuses for why you don't have the time to write or to publish. But if you would just about the impact,
Yeah. That's so good.
think about the impact.
Yeah.
You talked about speaking and preaching, and one of the things I've been blessed to be able to do is to go overseas to speak, and crave
Mm.
they crave my books, and not just mine. I try to bring as many books as I can, but because they're surrounded and don't have Amazon Prime that gets there in 2 days, right? Because they're limited resources, bookstores or whatever, when I bring my books onto the island, it's like gold, and they get so upset when I run out. They don't care the cost. And even if I hand it a cost or free, they will eat it up. There are people who want to eat up your books. They
Yeah.
want the knowledge, they want the experience, they want your message,
Yeah.
and they're hungry for it.
Yeah.
You just can't see the other side of it.
Yeah. That's so
You
good.
just can't. You just can't see that because you
Yeah.
don't have it to show.
Yeah. I think that there's something I want to address real quick before we end. But before I do, I want to say to everyone, if you are interested in writing your first book or your next book, we have something for you. We have what we call a writing challenge from April the 27th to the 29th. And the way to access it is you go to monetizeyourministrychallenge.com. One of the things that we have as a burden this year is to help more people. We don't just want to say you should do this without giving some help. So it's a 3 days where you'll get live coaching from Athena, live training from Athena. You'll be in a group of other people who are taking the steps. And at the end of those 3 days, you will have some clarity and you'll have a plan in place so that you can get that book written, we say, in 90 days. Now, listen, if you get it done in 100 days, I think you'll be happy, right? If you get it done in 120, but we believe those 3 days together will set you up for the 90 days after. So here it is. It's the Monetize Your Ministry Writing Challenge. I'm partnering with Athena. Athena is going to be the person bringing the knowledge. I'm just here riding along, trying to get my next book written. But the website is monetizeyourministrychallenge.com. 3 days, 2 hours each day. You get a chance to actually put some work behind that idea that you have. And I'm going to put the link up again. What's important for me is I think all right, I don't know how much of that, because I was going. I don't know how much of that you didn't hear.
Was in and out for me.
Okay, sorry about that. Okay,
But
I said, go ahead.
okay, what I will say, sometimes I have to, if anyway, what I will say is that we are going to do the work.
Yeah,
I am going to show you with a foolproof uh plan how to get your book out of your head and get it onto paper. I
yeah,
Listen, it's foolproof. It's foolproof. I'm going to show you how to do it in those 3 days. So we're going to work those 3 days. So if that idea has been rummaging, but you just do not know how to bring it out, oh, just come. It,
yeah, yeah,
it's going to come out and you're going to be like, why have I not met her before? Where was it? I promise you, we're going to do the work and it's going to get done. I'm excited.
yeah. That's better than what I was going to say. Because my point is simply, you could stay in your own head, and if you're staying in your own head, you'll probably end up at the end of this year, same place you were last year, the year before. Or you actually have access to someone who's helped individuals publish books, over 200 books, coach others in writing their books, and you can get access to that. And you, as you said, Athena, this isn't a spectator event. This is an event where I get to do the work so that you can put on a path towards writing a book. I can't tell you, one, the pride that not just me I have, but my family, my parents, right?
Yeah.
Look, and their pride is multiples of mine.
Yeah.
But just to hold something in your hand that has your name on it, your message in it, it just is amazing. So for anyone who is watching this, I want to invite you to go to their website, monetizeyourministrychallenge.com. Check it out. Sign up, right? There is an early bird so that you could take advantage of a ridiculous price for 6 hours of coaching and training and access to ask questions in a community so that by the end, you have a plan, as you mentioned, a foolproof plan to get that book done. Athena, what else do you want to add? I know I'm going in and out and my internet doesn't want me to be great.
I'm gonna add one last thing, thinking about what you just said. And this is a great question for the chat. How many of you have ever used artificial intelligence, AI?
Mm,
How many of you have used ChatGPT?
yeah.
Think about this, and we can close on this. Think about this. ChatGPT in particular um, pulls all of its knowledge from the internet. It pulls all of it from the internet. As an author, especially if you have electronic books, ebooks, as an author, your message is put out into the world and becomes part of, like it or not, it becomes part of the world's database. So I, as an author, and you as an author, Kimo, as a multi-book author, can go into ChatGPT and say, write like Kimon Hines on this
Wow.
particular subject.
Oh, wow. I hadn't
Yes,
thought about that.
yes. I did that for myself and I said, oh, wait a
That's crazy.
minute.
That's crazy.
And it was unbelievable. It started
Yeah.
talking about grace. And because, if my title of my first book, Grace for the Journey. So that's the kind of impact. So when people are talking about my subject and they're asking even artificial intelligence, guess what? My message has been captured and it's that's impact. Say what you
I
want. That's impact.
I love that.
Yeah.
Hey, hey,
Let's do
people think about, well, I got Chat GPT. No, I can contribute to what
it.
artificial intelligence is it's
Yeah.
giving people when they ask questions.
Yeah. And I have taught it to use my voice.
Yeah.
I've taught it to use my words.
Yeah.
So it's a nice relationship that we'll dig into, in the challenge. We'll dig into how we're able to use that. But I thought about that as you
That's
were
so good.
talking. That's major. That's
Yeah.
major. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
we'll be back tomorrow at 2
Yep.
Eastern, 1 Central, with my internet being better. All right. I'm taking it to the doctor. We got to figure out what's going on here. In the meanwhile, here's the graphic. It's a Monetize Your Ministry Writing Challenge. Water Springs Media partnering with Monetize Your Ministry, April 27th. So we start on a Sunday evening at 7. Go for 2 hours each day till Tuesday. So Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. You get access to Athena's training, her coaching. You have a community of people who are doing it together. You have homework. What did I say? I said homework, which means that we are going to do the work. So here's the link one more again, which is monetizeyourministrychallenge.com. Spread the word. Don't just do this challenge by yourself. Bring someone else on who's been talking about writing a book. You've been talking about it. They've been talking about it. Join together. It's a special early bird price. We're going to limit this to a certain number of people. So if you're watching this today, I were you, I would sign up today. Athena, do you remember what our topic is tomorrow? Because I can't remember, but I know we'll have a topic for tomorrow.
Woo. We are talking about why your book, and that was a good segue with the AI. We're talking about why your book is key to your authority, and impact, your influence. So we're going to show how you're able to use how your book can open doors for you.
Oh, that's good. That's
Yeah.
good. Listen,
Yeah.
if anyone was in my writing challenge, I mean, my speaking challenge, you need this challenge because as you just talked about authority, we'll talk about tomorrow how they both go hand in hand. So that's why we do it in this way, right? We're working it all together. All right,
Yeah.
good people. If you are on now, share this. Someone else needs this. They need to know about this writing challenge and they need to know how their message needs to uplift them. Athena, thank you so much for bearing with me. Thank you for sharing
Welcome.
this good message. And we'll be back tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.